Alright everyone, welcome to a video I never thought I'd make. We do live in the most degenerate timeline where Nick Fuentes, a basement-dwelling incel, fascist, and worst of all homosexual, has gotten freaky with Destiny, the self-proclaimed arbiter of internet debate. And by freaky I mean there's literal video evidence of Destiny gargling Nick's cock. I really hope this doesn't stain anyone's reputation, guys. Destiny really took it on the chin here. He kinda blew it, you know? This entire situation's pretty hard to swallow. Now I know what you're thinking. Why, Hatman? Why do we need to talk about this? Haven't we suffered enough? And you'd be right, but you know me. I'm here to expose grifters and deliver some wisdom to all my little chudlings. So we're gonna be breaking this down. It's important, really. Scientific work. I view myself as a sort of Rain Man-style figure, capable of autist-level analysis worthy of praise and adoration and thanks for my efforts. I have to show you exactly how this video leaked in order for you to understand this drama, and so I present to you all the very first Taxed Brass Studios production. Destiny Calling, featuring Hatman. Roll the clip.
Hatman, your mission is simple. Our intelligence suggests that Nick Fuentes and Destiny are engaged in a homosexual relationship right here in Soy City. You must collect evidence to verify this, and destroy the city on the way out. The fate of the West depends on it. Our sensors detect Shroon bots approaching you now. Good luck, Agent. Over.
Excuse me, citizen. To pass, you must prove your inclusivity. Pronouns now!
Yeah, sure. He, him. As in, he's about to eat him some buckshot. It's every time with these clowns. This is a place. Destiny and Nick Fuentes are inside this building. Holy shit, Lloyd Tech? Fuck!
Hopper detected George Droid activating gang protocol. Finna spin the block on this nigga.
There's only one way to stop him.
Fentanyl detected entering sleep mode.
Time to finish this. Spit it out, Destiny. You thought you could hide forever?
How did you find us, Hatman?
You left a trail of homosexuality so obvious, even Helen Keller could follow it. This is going viral. Let's see how your fanatics react to your little secret relationship.
Aye de mi, muy loco.
Ah, what a beautiful film. Now, for the uninitiated, let's recap. Nick Fuentes, a guy who looks like he could have been a child star on the Disney Channel, but instead became the poster boy for third world gay neo-Nazism. This guy's very deep in denial about his sexuality. Freud is rolling over in his grave, let me tell you. Most right-wing circles don't take the guy seriously at all due to both him being an unerotic fascist and him constantly, ironically, hinting at the idea of being a homosexual, such as liking fanboy thigh pics on Twitter, which he did ironically, going on a date ironically with someone who's known to date trannies, ironically, and ironically having a catboy chat in his now deleted Discord server. Have I mentioned it was ironic? Nick started off on Twitter messaging every right-wing bodybuilder he could find for totally non-sexual reasons. Totally platonic, believe me. No ulterior motives whatsoever. He also totally ironically confessed to some of those said bodybuilders that he's gay. He really rose to prominence after the 2017 Charlottesville rally, where he was fired from his job and doxxed. He then dropped out of college and moved back in with his parents, which is where he lives now. His career is mostly just self-run live streams where he ironically talks about catboys and having sex with men, and then going on his social medias and ironically liking porn featuring transgenders. He's had meetups with catboys too, which is also done ironically, by the way. What wasn't done ironically is him saying it's okay for a middle-aged man to rape a 17-year-old as long as you marry her first. He's tried to wield his immense power to go on crusades against his enemies, everyone from leftist YouTubers to Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. These valiant campaigns mostly just consist of him telling his supporters to shitpost and ratio them on Twitter. Truly devastating stuff. The power of this man, by God, he's unstoppable. Fuentes has admitted to never having had a romantic relationship with a woman, in the same interview where he says women should have the same rights as women do in Afghanistan, and that he wants a Taliban-style movement to exist in America, which I'm sure would really go well. The Taliban has led to a thriving economy in Afghanistan, after all. Tons of growth there. I always hear people talking about those high-paying tech jobs in Afghanistan, or those up-and-coming Afghani scientific innovations. So yeah, he's retarded. There's nothing going on up there, really. It's all white noise. He's a moron. He's a retard. He's gay. His defense for everything he's accused of is to either say he did it ironically or doubling down and saying it was based. Child porn? Based. We love that. That's based, actually.
And dollars. You are a gay man who exclusively surrounds himself with other young gay men, many of whom are openly pedophiles.
Based?
Jack sent $5.
And
Remember
that's
a super chatter with
based.
the name White Flag Guy or
Oh, and he's absolutely a federal asset, by the way. There's no doubt in my mind that he works for the feds. He organizes rallies crawling with federal informants. He constantly tries to subvert the right. He campaigned for Kamala Harris. He went to J6 back in 2021, where his supporters ended up being jailed, and shockingly, he has never been charged or legally threatened for his activities there. Almost like someone benefits from having a right-wing agitator around. Now that the feds think that they won't have the cover of a Democrat president, he's gonna lose his legal protection, but we'll talk about that later. And then there's Destiny, left-wing streamer extraordinaire, the guy whose entire personality is debating teenagers on Discord while his wife gets railed by a black man in the background. I actually don't mind Destiny as much as some of the other leftist slop tubers, but that's not saying much at all. He's made a career off of streaming himself playing video games while debating with retards on either politics or soy consumer content. If you watch and study him long enough like I have, you'll notice he actually has a soy-induced seizure roughly every 30 minutes when he's streaming, where he just sort of generally spazzes out. I think this is either caused by his brain having trouble processing the inherent contradictions in his ideology, or by terminal cancer. Let's hope for the latter. If you feel that's a little harsh, keep in mind that there's some solid evidence to suggest the guy might be a pedo. He had nude photos of a 15-year-old. He argued that child porn should be totally legal. He was caught grooming a 12-year-old girl.
I don't like predators, period. I don't care if you're offending or not offending.
Okay, hold on. Who disagrees with Brittany? Who disagrees with Brittany?
What, if you just because you molest a
I
child doesn't
I
make you a
don't disagree
pedophile?
with
That's
her.
not.
Yes, it does. Yes, it.
What a character. He's also argued in favor of bestiality and incest. Come to think of it, this guy isn't a normal pedo. My goodness, he's a full-blown Vashophile. This is worse than I imagined. Destiny has a fiercely loyal fan base. These guys might actually be more fanatical than the neo-Nazis, which is fucking hilarious. When Destiny had his nudes leaked for the first time, yeah, it's a recurring thing, only the best judgment from Destiny, don't question it. They would post their own nudes online in solidarity. These guys are like the SS of online supporters. Just following orders my ass, they go above and beyond. I really don't know how anyone takes them seriously. I mean, this screenshot here pretty much sums Destiny up. Someone posted a picture of his wife getting escorted away behind him by some black guy, and so he responds with this. Me, eyes locked in on the prize, actively monitoring community, observing cash flow, and calculating optimum revenue generating strategies in real time, while generating iconic imagery to replay in your mind and occupy your social media for years to come. Woman and competitor, cast aside, both of them distracting each other, eliminating both competition and distraction simultaneously from my life, while they exist exactly where they belong, in my rear view mirror. You might not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. See, he's actually like the Tony Stark of cucks. Other cucks, they've got nothing on him. This guy is part of the elite few. He's looking at diagrams and Excel spreadsheets while his wife gets violated. He's locked the fuck in. Now, together, Nick and Destiny make up what I like to call the Cuckoldry Alliance, and this coalition has just entered uncharted territory, homemade gay porn. So a video comes out, an extraordinary piece of film, something that will shake the foundations of the world as we know it. The video quickly claims its first victim. The Kiwi Farm servers crash from the literal and metaphorical load that the video brings to the site. Thousands upon thousands are flocking to see the historic recording. So what did the video contain? Chances are you already know, but I'll tell you anyway. Destiny, in what I can only imagine was a moment of extreme submission, kneeling before Nick Fuentes like an unattended child meeting Minecraft YouTuber. I can't show the footage here for obvious reasons, is probably what you expect me to say, but I can actually do whatever I want, so here it is, albeit blurred. You're welcome for the blur. The cinematography of this is phenomenal. It's beautifully shot, I must say. The way the shaft plays with the light and the lens picks it up, pure craftsmanship. Hell, this video reminds me of the Zapruder film, no grassy, no here. Presumably someone's head did explode though. Now, let's be clear, this is funny for several reasons. One, because Nick Fuentes spent years claiming he's as straight as a razor, and two, because Destiny has spent just as long LARPing as the moral compass of the left. Apparently that compass points straight to Nick's zipper. Granted, Destiny has always been willing to speak with people who disagree with him before. He even had Fuentes on to debate, although it wasn't much of a debate really, they just kinda sat there. It was pretty cute honestly, you can see them sitting together. This is how it all started. The cocksucking video was filmed a few days after this, did I mention that? The dates line up. Perfectly. All the stars align. Now, let's look at all the pieces of evidence here. Destiny denies the claims, but he also denied that the video was authentic to begin with, so he's just generally being dishonest here. Once he seemingly gave up on denying the authenticity of the footage, he took to referring to his partner in the clip as N. Presumably N for Nick. Now, the dates fit too. The video was filmed within 2 days of Destiny and Fuentes having a live stream together. If we compare the physique of Fuentes in this mugshot and the stomach of the guy getting sucked off, we can tell it's a perfect match. Both are skinny fat. The skin tones match as well. A perfect match. To me, the final nail in the coffin is that when the video leaked, Fuentes had to go and check the video in order to say whether or not it's his cock getting sucked by Destiny. He denied it was, but that doesn't even matter now. He wouldn't have needed to check if he hadn't been sucked off by Destiny at some point. If you told me that you had a video of me having gay sex, I wouldn't need to look at the video to confirm or deny it's authentic because I've never had gay sex. Meanwhile, Nick has to run deep analysis of the video. He's going frame by frame, cross-referencing it with his calendar, sifting through his memory, trying to figure out whether it's him. No, I couldn't have sucked Destiny's dick here, I only do that on holidays. His next step in disproving the allegations will be having Destiny suck his cock again on livestream so that people can cross-reference the videos. He's so fucking smart, guys, a real genius. Anyway, the point is that this is a testament to the hypocrisy of these people. Nick Fuentes, the self-proclaimed paragon of traditionalism who spent his entire life LARPing as a crusader for Western civilization, is now reduced to the star of what I can only describe as leaked homoerotic OnlyFans-level content. Meanwhile, Destiny, the guy who lectures his audience about morality and ethics, is now literally sucking off Nazis. This guy's a literal mouthpiece for white supremacy. You love to see it. Anyway, these guys claim to be more than just lolcows. They think of themselves as serious proponents of ideology. They see themselves as intellectual giants, titans of debate, modern-day Plato and Aristotle, which is rich considering Plato didn't have to explain why he was filmed giving Aristotle fellatio. Now, Nick's whole shtick is that he wants to turn America into a Catholic theocracy. Not actually what normal, well-adjusted Catholics seem to believe, obviously, but a weird genocidal state where 15-year-olds are married to middle-aged men and little boys are groomed into wearing cat ears. He's co-opting Catholicism to fit his political fetishes. He's no better than some degenerate gay Twitter artist who draws porn of nuns. It's the same thing at the end of the day, just blasphemy. Now, Destiny's no better. He's a dollar store version of John Stuart Mill. He'll argue for universal healthcare and then turn around and celebrate some random innocent old man getting shot at a Trump rally. I wonder if he was trying to sound intellectual while he was gargling the Mexican internet Nazi penis. Destiny's ideology, if you can even call it that, is basically whatever makes him look smart in the moment. One minute he's quoting Rawls, next he's arguing why incest is totally fine under the right circumstances. His ability to argue both sides of an issue isn't a talent, it's a pathology. He's not enlightened, he's just dishonest with the vocabulary. Both of these clowns are morons, they're both extremely smug and self-satisfactory. Nick wants a totalitarian degenerocracy and Destiny wants a bloated welfare state. They're two sides of the same coin, really. Scratch a liberal and a fascist bleeds. Both of them act like their ideologies would lead to some kind of utopia. Nick thinks we'll achieve moral purity by handing the reins to a theocratic elite, while Destiny believes we can bureaucratize our way into nirvana. Naturally, both of their ideas require an all-powerful state, and history has shown us exactly how well that works. Stalin, Hitler, Mao, Pol Pot. It doesn't tend to work out in the end. Collectivism is pretty fucking gay in general. If these two have anything in common other than their sexual preferences and where they were on the night the Destiny sex tape was filmed, it's their fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. See, they both want to force people into their perfect little systems. Nick wants a boot stomping on the face of everyone who doesn't genuflect to his homosexual version of history and morality. Destiny wants a government so bloated it could rival Vosh in pure tonnage. Neither of them seem to realize that human beings aren't widgets you can just slot into some top-down plan. People are messy, complex, and self-interested. Nick's degenerocratic state isn't any better than any other authoritarian state. Power corrupts, and some homosexual catboy wielding the sword instead wouldn't magically change that. It's like saying McDonald's would run a better death camp than Burger King. The fries are better maybe, but it's still a death camp. As for Destiny's social democrat soy-tardation, it's the same tired argument every leftist makes. If only we had more government, this time it would work! The fact is, a magical Scandinavian paradise doesn't exist. Sweden is deregulating its welfare system because it's collapsing under its own weight. Also, these people tend to like to bring up very demographically homogenous nations into these discussions while pushing multiculturalism at home, which is, needless to say, convenient. Both of these retards have a shared love of centralization, whether it's Nick's gay spin-off of the Vatican, which is hilarious by the way, Fuentes really took Catholicism and made it lame and gay. Anyway, whether it's his gay fantasies or Destiny's Uncle Sam on steroids, both of them think that concentrating power in a small group of elites will lead to fairness and prosperity. Hate to break it to you boys, but the only thing central planning leads to is corruption, inefficiency, and a black market appearing anyway, because free trade can ultimately only be suppressed, not totally stopped. I gotta say, it would be cool if people stopped trying to turn America into Europe or Venezuela and gave up on pushing moronic socialism. I'd kinda like my country to be free. Frankly, and call me crazy here, but what if you just left people alone instead of trying to force everyone into a utopian mold? You know, instead of saying America's government is broken and our problems are endemic, the state is rotted to the core, and concluding that the solution is an even bigger state, we could actually try and give people more freedom and let them operate freely. Stop fagging out over big daddy government, you know? Because it turns out massively powerful central governments suck in general, and these guys should understand that. Clearly they know a lot about sucking, you know? Frankly, they're quite good at it as far as I can tell. And then, as if this week couldn't get any better, Nick gets arrested for pepper spraying an old Jewish woman on his doorstep. Now, for the record, I don't like anybody involved in this. The woman is a far-left retard, and Fuentes is an effeminate twink with a Hitler fetish, to quote the very wise Alex Jones. There are no good guys in this story. Anyway, Nick got doxxed, and this old lady showed up at his door to harass him or whatever, so Nick, ever the brave defender of Western values, opened up the door and immediately pepper sprayed her. He then kicked her down the stairs and stole her phone. The video looks like some analog horror found footage shit. It's really funny.
Hi. Oh my god, what are you doing?
Get the fuck out of here.
Now, I immediately predicted at the time that this would lead to his arrest. Virginia's pretty blue. You don't think that some public prosecutor there will want to make a name by putting a famous neo-Nazi in prison? Come on now. He sealed his fate the moment he pepper sprayed her. Realistically, he can't argue that he felt intimidated by a 60-year-old retarded woman knocking on his door, and even if he did, he wouldn't be able to argue that his actions were proportional or a justifiable response. Does he deserve to be jailed for this? Probably not. Casto doctrine should be strengthened in the US. Is it ultimately really funny to see him ending up in prison not far from his supporters who he abandoned, who are still locked up in DC for the Capitol riot? Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, very poetic, and I won't spill any tears over it. Now, Destiny's probably heartbroken. Imagine finding out your fascist boyfriend's idea of foreplay is felony assault. I mean, Destiny's used to getting cucked, but having his boy toy be raped by a 6'4", 300-pound black man in the Virginia Corrections Department might be a little too much even for him to handle. Really, this whole story's a car crash that you can't look away from. It's hilarious that it happened and sobering that either of these morons got a following to begin with. My advice, reject anyone who advocates for an authoritarian government, embrace freedom, and for the love of God, suck dick off camera. If you want to like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it very much. I'm a small creator and constantly looking for feedback and ideas on what to make next, so any comments are also really helpful. There's almost a sure shot I'll read it and likely respond.